Hey guys, it's Scott from Horse Racing Daily, and today's video is coming on the three horses I like in the 2022 Haskell Stakes this weekend. And all these horses seem to have question marks this year to them. There's not really that one true, standout horse that just checks all the boxes. There's like Jack Crisper is got a number one choice. He has something to prove. White Obaria, CyberKnife. You don't know how Taba's going to run. But anyways, we'll get into it. We'll start with Jack Crisper. And Jack Christopher's done, nothing wrong so far. He's 4 for 4 lifetime, two-time Grade 1 winner. He also won the Pat Day Mile in impressive fashion. And, but, let's get into the negative. This is the first time this horse is going to be trying two turns, first time going past a mile. So you don't know how this horse is going to handle that. I watched Chad Brown interviews, and he's repeatedly said he thinks this horse can handle, going longer, going, mile and an eighth. So I'm going to side with Chad Brown and say that Jack Crisper can handle it. And it kind of feels like some of the other horses to me are ducking the Haskell this year, like Early Voting and Zandon and Epicenter. And when you start seeing other top horses tend to start moving elsewhere, because this is a win in your in spot for the Breeders' Cups and a bigger purse. So to me, this would be the more prestigious race in the Jim Dandy. And when you have that happen, you just start to wonder what horse they ducking. And I don't think it's White Obaria. I don't think it's Taba, as they've already beat him in the Kentucky Derby. I don't think it's CyberKnife. It just kind of feels like it's this horse, Jack Crisper, that these other horses just don't want to run against right now. So I really expect Jack Crisper to most likely win this race. I think I'll actually be placing a win bet if the odds are 8 to 5 or better, which I think they could be because you got a lot of solid horses in this field. It looks like as of this morning, We the People is going to scratch out of the race. But still, there's enough solid field to give Jack Christopher, I think, some decent odds. And, he's going to be my number one pick to win. And that's going to bring me to number two. And number two is going to be White Obaria. And, White Obaria has done, not really much wrong so far. He's won the Holy Bull, won the Florida Derby. He got second in the Ohio Derby, but that was also his first race since the Kentucky Derby. And I don't think their long-term plans were to point to the, Ohio Derby. I think they had a bigger, picture in mind. So I think the Ohio Derby is probably just a prep towards, something else. And that something else could be the, Haskell. Saffy Joseph Jr. came out and said that, White Obaria is really fit and ready to go. And it makes sense to be second race off the layoff. He's had more workouts. I plan on posting White Obaria's workouts, sometime later on today. And I just think he's gonna run in the trifecta. I really feel that, and I'm even thinking about doing a straight exacta with Jack Christopher over, White Obaria. It's kind of what I'm feeling, as of right now so far. So I think you got to respect White Obaria. And I'm not sure if he's quite good enough to win the races that, this is a very solid field that it drew. But I do see him running the trifecta at the very least. And that's going to bring me to horse number three. And that's going to be CyberKnife. And a lot of the same stuff with CyberKnife, that we use for White Obaria can also apply here. CyberKnife won the, Matt win over Howentime. And I thought the effort could have been a little bit better out of CyberKnife in that race, as it looked like he really had a hard time putting away Howentime. And Rattle and Roll came back to be a solid horse, probably not the top of the class, but can jump up and win that grade 3, maybe on his best day a grade 2 race. And CyberKnife did win the Arkansas Derby, but this horse sometimes will have races where he just doesn't fire. And the Matt win was his first start since the Kentucky Derby. That could certainly be a step forward. And Brad Cox is a very good trainer, so I can't discount this horse at all. And the three horses I have right here might just wind up being your trifecta, especially if Taba doesn't show up. He's kind of the wild card horses. I think he'll be back under control of Bob Baffert for the Haskell, and everybody knows Bob Baffert's had really good success with the Haskell. But some of those horses that have won, like American Pharaoh and Byron and all them, you could tell they were, really, really, really good horses. And you didn't question their, how good they were when they came into the race. But Taba kind of feels more like a, American Freedom that got second for Baffert a few years ago, where it's just, like you thought maybe he could be a cut below the, rest of them. And that's just kind of what I sense out of Taba. Posted a video of his workouts, and I watched them, and there was a couple of them where he drew off and won, kind of impressively. But I don't know, like he was getting urged the whole time. You look at the other horse on the other, the jockey on the other horse, and he just wasn't, like pushing him the way Table was being pushed. So some of those efforts in the workouts could have been a little inflated. I'm not so sure what to do with it, but I'm going to be playing against Tables. I don't think the short price is going to be worth it, and I feel like a horse of Jack Christopher, you get better potential and better value. But I'll probably wind up taking these three horses I mentioned and putting them in a trifecta. I'm definitely leaning towards the straight exacta with Jack Christopher over White Obaria, and that's what I'm going within the Haskell this weekend. And thanks for watching, guys. More videos to come.